I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Is it right or not? I try to share my screen also. Okay. So please just wait 1 minute. Yeah. My continue my session now. Please try to observe my screen also. My continue my session. And is it my voice is audible to everyone or not? Please respond to anyone chat box. May I continue my session? Is it my voice is audible? Please respond anyone through chat box. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Now I try to continue my session now. Okay, in the last class we are discussing about the schema refinement, right? So what is the schema? Schema means nothing but the design of the database, and right? Refinement means nothing but so we are removing unnecessary data from the database. So that is nothing but a schema refinement. So here the unnecessary data means nothing but which is repeated so more number of times. The same copy of data is existed more than one time, so that can be referred as a redundant storage. So the type of the storage will be create lot of problems. In the last class also we are discussing about that. So in this schema refinement, we are eliminating the redundancy up to some extent. We are not completely eliminating the redundancy. So how we are eliminating the redundancy in the schema or database? By using the decomposition. So what is the meaning of decomposition? So decomposition means nothing but the breakdown one table into a larger table into smaller tables. Then, so we try to reduce the chance of occurrence of the redundant data. Okay. So if we are allowing the redundant data, so then what are the problems? Decomposition can eliminate the redundancy, but what are the problems caused when we are allowing the redundant stories? So that is nothing but update anomalies, insertion anomalies, deletion anomalies. So that means if you are update something, then automatically update some other records also. If you are insert something, then insert some other records also. If you are delete something, so then delete more than one record. So that means occurring the chance of loss of the data. Okay. So more than one operation is performed at a time. So then we don't know. So which type of data is maybe eliminated. And in the last class, we are already discussing about the, so what are these anomalies and what are the uses of decomposition also. In the exam point of view also, this is very important question. So from this unit, question is maybe asking in two subparts. So one is the, what is normalization? What are the uses of normalization, or what is decomposition? Okay, or what are the problems with the what are the problems with the redundant storage? So like this. So one of the part will be related to like that, and another part will be you asking for, so explain different types of normal forms. So what is a normalization? So what is a normalization means nothing but, so here we are decomposing the table into smaller tables. So that procedure will be referred as a normalization. Okay. So that means normalization is a process of to reducing the redundant storage through break down the larger table into the smaller tables. That can be referred as a normalization. Okay. Here the normalization can be achieved by using different types of normal forms. So those are maybe first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, boys third normal form, fourth normal form, and fifth normal form. So if you are completing these 5 normal forms, our syllabus is completed. So if you are, please try to observe our syllabus now. Please try to observe our syllabus. So the first part will be related to the purpose of normalization, and second thing is concept of functional dependency, and another thing, normal forms based on the functional dependency. So that means here, so what is the meaning of normal forms of functional dependency? So we are observed here in the brackets 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, okay, and BCNF and 4NF. Okay, so that means if you know about the normal forms, so definitely, so nothing but we are cover the total syllabus of this unit. So that means this unit having only 2 parts. So one part is related. So what is a decomposition? What is a normalization? What are the uses of decomposition? Okay, why we need to perform the normalization like this? So then we need to explain. So by which type of problems are occurred when we are allowing the redundant data into the database. Okay. So we try to explain with some examples. Okay. And another part will be related to the explain the normal forms. So either maybe asking the direct question, explain first normal form with example. So explain second normal form with example, like that. But most of the chance asking explain 1NF, 2NF, 3NF with examples. This is the basic question. Most of the chance asking the question in the exam, so asking like that. In some other chances, explain different types of normal forms with examples. So that means we need to explain 5 normal forms. So that means if we having the clarity about these normal forms, so we will get good marks in this exam of this subject. Okay, at the same time, so this will be used for your competitive exams also. So that's why I'm in the yesterday class, I'm saying about that you don't try to offset until the completion of this unit. Why? Because these topics will be follow until so we settle in good job. So if you attempt any type of the exam, so regarding the CSE, so if in that exam maybe one of the subject is DBMS, then definitely asking the questions from this unit only, most of the chance. And more, so that's why, okay. So you please try to concentrate on this, and better you try to practice from your homes also. Okay, so just even though I'm explaining only 1 or 2 examples, better you try to do some more examples. Okay. And another thing, in this subject or in this unit, so please try to remember the example also. So that is also having the equal priority in this. Why? Because here the concept is within 2 lines. For example, what is a normal forms? So normal form is nothing but dividing the one larger table into smaller tables. Simple. But we can't explain. We can't satisfy for to the 7 marks. Am I right or not? So at the time of the situation, we need to based upon one example. So how we are break down the one table into smaller tables, and which type of conditions are we are based. Okay, in which type of way we are break down the table. Okay, so those are the that's why you please try to practice the examples also. Okay, I will try to share my personal videos also in this group. Okay, I'm already doing some videos in the DBMS. Okay, I will try to share those type of videos in our group. Okay, So in that I'm explaining about that what is a normalization. So just I'm explaining in the concept of exam point of view only. So you can understand within that 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, now we're going to the actual topic today. So that is functional dependency. Please just wait here a minute. Yeah. Okay. So in the last class, we are discussing about all these things. So now we are discussing about the functional dependency. What is a functional dependency? Functional dependency is nothing but the integrity constraint. So that is generalized the concept of a key. So that means this is also same like as a concept of a key. What is the concept of key? Key is used for uniquely identifies the data. So that means if you know one attribute, so based upon that attribute, we can able to identify remaining attributes. Am I right or not? For example, if we are consider some student table. So what are the fields? For example, student number, student name, marks. Only 3 fields. But now by using student number, we can able to find out what is the student name. At the same time, we can able to find out the marks. For example, if we are maintaining the student number is unique, okay, then we can able to identify the data. Am I right or not? For example, if the student number is 10, then we get some name. For example, name is Mahesh. Okay, if for example the student number is 10, so then we try to get the name is Mahesh. Then again, if you try to search the by using the same number, then again we will be retrieve the same name. Am I right or not? So that means here, so how many number of times using that field value, so then in the same number of times also getting the same value. So that means that type of the relation will be referred as a functional dependency. Okay, please try to observe here. Functional dependency is a kind of integrity constraint that generalize the concept of a key. Let R be a relation. So that means here the table name is R, and let X and Y be the non-empty sets of attributes in R. So that means X and Y are the columns. So R is a table name, X and Y are the column names. Okay. Now functional dependency from X to Y is the following holds for every pair of tuples T1 and T2 in R. So that means here the tuple means rows. Okay. So please don't try to get confused. So one table is considered, the table name is R. X and Y are the columns. Okay. In that X and Y columns, we are maintaining some columns. For example, so one name is A. Okay. Two name is B. For example, like that. Okay. For example, again we are considered one A. Okay. For example, if we are observe here, tuples T1 and T2 in R. If T1 dot X equal to T2 dot X and T1 dot Y equal to T2 Y. So that means here we are consider the two tuples. For example, if we are consider the same type of tuple, okay, so then if T1 dot X equal to T2 dot X, so that means if the for example, if the student number is 1, okay, in the second tuple also, if we are consider the table student number is 1, then we will get the same answer. Am I right or not? So that will be referred as a function dependency. So that means simply we can understand. So by using one attribute, we are uniquely identifies the data. Okay. For example, so that is and functional dependency X to Y says that two tuples values in attributes X must be in association with the two tuples values in attributes Y. Okay. So by using employee ID, we are able to find out the remaining details. So that means nothing but here the social security number is functionally dependent on employee ID. Okay, simple. So in this manner, here we are understood the functional dependency. Okay. Just to try to consider this example also. Okay. Please just wait. If column X of a table uniquely identifies the column of Y, the same table, then it can be represented as X to Y in brackets attribute Y is functionally dependent on attribute X. Okay, so how we are read as, so if f X to Y, so that is nothing but Y is functionally dependent on X. So in the same way, for example, if we are consider the student table, student number is able to find out the student name. Am I right? So student name is functionally dependent on student number. So that means by using student number, we are find out the student name. Am I right? So consider the relation employee in which employee ID and social security number are the two attributes. Only here we are considered two attributes. Here, if the value of social security number is used to determine the value of employee ID, then employee ID is said to be fully functional dependent on social security number. This dependency can be diagrammatically shown as. So here, actually here giving the wrong information. Please try to understand this. According to this dependency, employee ID arrow social security number. So what it means? Social security number is functionally dependent on employee ID. Okay. For example, if you are observe here, the table illustrates the meaning of the FD. FD means functional dependency. AB to C, showing an instance the satisfied dependency. So that means C is functionally dependent on AB. Okay, simple. Here, the first two tuples shows that functional dependency is not same as the key constraint, although FD is not violated. AB is clearly not a key for the relation. The third, fourth tuples illustrate that if two tuples differ in either A field or the B field, they can differ in the C field without violating the functional dependency. Suppose if we add a tuple A1, B1, C3, D2, or the resulting instance would violate the functional dependency. Okay. If you observe here, so what is the functional dependency here? So please try to observe. So A, B to C. So that means when A and B is same, so then we are find out the C. So if you please try to observe here. So A1, B1, then result is C1. Okay. A1, B1, then result is C1. For example, if you are change the B value, okay, if you are change the B value, A1, B2, then resultant value is different. Am I right or not? So in the same way, if you are using A1, B1, then using C3. Okay. So that means here, if we are observe the above two lines, so T1 dot X equal to T2 dot X and T1 dot Y equal to T2 dot Y. So for example, we are consider the we consider these tuples T1, T2, T3, T4 like that. So then T1 dot A equal to T2 dot A. Am I right or not? So why? Because A1 and A1 is same. So in the same way, T2 dot B equal to T2 dot B. So these two are same. So then T1 dot C equal to T2 dot C. So then the resultant value will be referred to as a functional dependency. Let us consider the function following relation R to C. The functional dependencies are satisfied. Here A to C. A to C. So that means whenever value is A1, then value is C1. Okay, if you observe here, value is A2, then value is C2. So in the case of value A3, also then value is C2. So that means here, if you observe just only two columns, two tuples, if it is satisfied, that is nothing but a functional dependency. Okay. So next we try to discussing about types of normal forms. Then we try to discuss about remaining things. Okay. Just we try to see normal forms. We will try to discuss about the remaining topics in the next class. Because maybe the chance we will get confused. So that's why first I will try to give in this chapter, you try to give the most importance for the normal forms only. Okay, what is the first normal form? Example. What is the second normal form? Example. What is the third normal form? Example. What is the Boyce Codd normal form? Example. What is the fourth normal form? Example. What is the fifth normal form? Example. That's it. So why? Because if you cover all the normal forms, so then 75% of 75% of syllabus for this unit is completed. Remaining 25% related to the what is a functional dependency, what are the types of functional dependency, what is a normalization, what are the types of so what is the uses of decomposition, like that. Okay, so first of all we try to cover the normal forms, then we will try to discuss about remaining topics. Okay, first of all we try to see, okay, try to see what is a normal forms. Normal form is a state of relation that results by decomposing that relation for a good design to avoid the redundancy. So that means what is a normal form means nothing but here we are performing the decomposition. So what is the reason for performing the decomposition? To avoid the redundancy. Okay, normalization is a process of deciding which attributes should be grouped together and decomposing a given relation into smaller relations. So that means here, so normalization is nothing but a process of deciding which attribute should be grouped together. So that means here we are separating the or creating the one table into more than one table. Okay, so more than one smaller tables. So that means here we are performing decomposing. So please try to understand the word. So composition means nothing but combining. Decomposition means nothing but breakdown. Okay, break down the larger table into smaller tables. That procedure will be referred as a normalization. Okay, normalization is a process of decomposing relation to produce smaller, well-structured relations. So we are forming with the well-structured order. So that means here we try to observe which type of attributes will be uh, treated as one table, and remaining attributes are remaining attributes are treated as another table. Okay. Normalization is a tool validate and improve the logical design so that it satisfies the certain constraints that avoid unnecessary duplication of data. So the main intention of this normalization is to avoid the or to reduce the occurrence of duplication of the data. Okay. So normalization is a technique involves a sequence of rules that are employed to test individual relations so that the database can be normalized to any degree. The main objective of normalization is to refine the design database in order to remove the data maintaining anomalies, reduce the data redundancy, and eliminate data inconsistency. So that means here the main objectives of normalization is avoiding the redundancy, eliminating the data inconsistency, and eliminating the anomalies also. So all these are possible through using to performing the decomposition. The process of normalization is based on the concept of normal forms. Each and every normal form has its own set of properties and constraints. A relation said to be particular normal form only if it satisfies all the properties of normal forms associated with that normal form. So these properties are usually applied on the attributes of the relation and also on the relationship that exists between these relations, different types of normal forms. So that means here we are considering different types of normal forms. So that means up to 5 normal forms. So each and every normal form having different types of rules. So different types of constraints. So here, so in each and every normal form, we will try to reduce the occurrence of the redundant data. So first of all, we try to see what are they. So first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, Boyce Codd normal form, fourth normal form, and another thing, fifth normal form also. Okay. So first of all, we try to see what is a first normal form. Okay. So first normal form is very easy in the exam point of view. Okay. We are not having any type of struggles to remember this. Simply, we will easily remember this. So please try to understood. So any multi-valued attributes have been reviewed. So there is a single value at the intersection of each row and column of the table. So that means here, so for each attribute, only assigning only one value. We should not assign the multi-value. For example, for example, what is your roll number? For example, if you say like this, 520, 530, 540, 550. So if you say like this, so what is this? So that means it is a multi-value. So that means those type of multi-values are not accepted. So that means each and every attribute having only single value. So that is the main intention of first normal form. So if you observe here, so we are consider some table here. So employee ID, employee name, employee section ID, employee address, dependents. Okay. So that means how many number of dependents are based upon to the particular employee. So some employee ID is there, so employee name is there, section ID is there, and address is there. If we are observing here dependents, so mother comma father, but we don't try to accept like these values in the first normal form. Please remember this. So that means here each and every value should be atomic. And another thing here, we are not accepting the null values, and here we are not accepting the nothing but here we are not accepting the redundant values, and here we are not accepting the more than one value for to assigning only for single column. Okay. So all these are the properties of first normal form. So any table, so any relation we can consider as a first normal form if the values are atomic. Okay. If you observe here, the second employee is father, mother, sister. So third employee, brother, comma, sister. Fourth employee, father, mother, sister. So fifth employee, mother, brother. So that means how we are consider this. So simple. So dependents in we try to consider only one attribute. So mother is only considered. Next, father is considered in the second line. The same remaining details are the same. So 1001, sorry, 10,001. 1, 2, 3. So 1,01,000. Okay. So 1,01,000. is the employee ID Anupama, employee section ID is 401, employee address is Rajmandri, and dependency is only mother. In the second line, we are mention the measure, mention the represent the father. So we try to see. Please try to observe here. So employee ID Anupama and employee section ID Rajmandri mother. The same things are same details are repeated, and here we are using the father. So if you observe here, so the above table will be forming like as a below table. So what is the difference from this table to this table here? Whatever it may be, we are consider more than one value. So those will be treated as the another tuple in this table. I think all of the members able to understood. And you try to observe another thing. Here we are not accepting the null values. That is the first thing. And second thing, here we should be consider nothing but here we should be consider some primary key also. So then what is the primary key for to this? What is the primary key for to this? So which type of things will be treated as the primary key here? So here also we are maintaining the unique values. So how we are maintaining the unique values? Can you say anyone? So simple. In the case of Siler's tables and reserves tables and boards tables, in the case of reserves table, so which type of things will be treated as the primary key? SID and BID is the primary key. Why? Because so SID is repeated number of times and board ID is repeated number of times. But same SID, same BID is only occurred only once. Am I right or not? So if you observe here, so employee ID and dependents is the primary key. Simple. Okay. So if these are not same, so if you observe here, so employee ID and dependency is not same in every tuple. So these two are considered as the primary key. Okay, so that means what is the first norm means nothing but not accepting the null values and consider only atomic values and not consider multiple values for a single attribute. So if that case is occurred, so we try to form so another tuple. Okay, so those are the rules for the first null form. I hope all of the members able to understood, right or not? So a relation schema said to be first null form if the attribute values in the relation are atomic, that is there should be no repeated values in a particular column. A attribute is said to be value atomic value if it contains only single unique value. A relation said to contain atomic values if there is unique value for a data item for any given row and column intersection. So consider an employee relation additional attribute dependence. Table 1R. So here the column dependents have non-atomic values. In order to convert the relation into 1NF, we have to convert these non-atomic values to atomic values. So in this type of way, here we are consider the employee and employee dependents also. So then what are the drawbacks of first null form? Okay, what are the drawbacks of first null form? So here the main drawback is redundancy of the data. So if you observe here, same type of data is repeated number of times. Then how we can divide this? How we can divide this? So if you observe here, so the same table break down into the two tables here. The same table break down into the two tables. So please try to observe this. So employee ID, employee name, employee section ID, employee address, and dependents. So 5 columns are there. So how we can divide this? Please try to observe here. Employee ID, employee name, employee section ID, and employee address. Employee ID and dependents are divided into the another table. Then it will be reducing the chance of occurring the redundant data. If you observe here there is no redundant data. Am I right or not? So Anupama is only occurred only once. So employee ID is also occurred only once. In the same way here also we are using some redundant data. So that means here we are able to reduce up to some extent only. So that is the drawback of first normal form actually. I hope all of the members able to understood this. Am I right or not? So actually there is no need to try to understand the first normal form here. So why? Because most of the chance all the tables in the all the tables in the first normal form. Why? Because each and every table attributes are accepting only one value oftenly. So there is no need to, we are using the first normal form. Okay. But here we try to observe the relation between the one normal form to the another normal form. For example, if first normal form is, if it is a second normal form, so what it means, that is already satisfying the first normal form. Okay. So if you observe here, so the definition, so a relation, now we try to discuss the second normal form now. Okay. So the main intention of this second normal form is partial functional dependencies have been removed. So each and every normal form having some objective. Here we are removing the partial functional dependencies. Okay. So first of all, we try to see the definition. A relation is said to be 2NF if it is in first NF. So that means if it is a second NF, definitely it will be also satisfying the 1NF also. For example, if one of the student is belongs to the BTech third year, so then what it means, he is already studying the first year and second year also. In the same way, if it is a second NF, so that is already satisfying the 1NF. Okay. So if it is a 3NF, if it is already satisfying the, that is already satisfying the second NF and first NF. Simple. If it is a fourth NF, so that is already satisfying the 3NF and 2NF and 1NF. Okay, please try to remember this relation. Okay, so a relation said to be 2NF if it is in 1NF and every non-key attribute is fully functionally dependent on primary key attributes. So here we try to identify the two types of dependencies here. So that is, one is fully functional dependency and another one is the partial functional dependency. First of all, we try to see what is a functional dependency. Functional dependency means nothing but one attribute uniquely identifies the data. I'm right or not? But what it means the partial functional dependency, for example, please try to observe one example. I'm not just saying general example. So maybe we are attempting some exam. Okay, in the to download that exam, so he is giving two attributes. So that is, so first you enter the date of birth. Second, you enter your phone number. Okay, then you will able to download your hall ticket. So that is the procedure. Okay, I'm repeating the same thing now. So you try, when you try to download your hall ticket, then you need to give the two values. So what are the, first you enter the your date of birth. That is the first one. Second, you enter the your phone number. So then only you will get the hall ticket. Actual procedure is there. So that means here we are using two keys are used to download the your hall ticket. Okay. So if we are using two keys for to downloading your hall ticket, so that type of thing will be referred as a fully functional dependency. Why? Because here we are using total keys are used to download the your hall ticket. Okay. For example, so if we are enter only date of birth, not entering the, not enter the your phone number, but press the submit button. Okay. So you are now, you are enter only date of birth, not enter the phone number. Then also you are press the submit button, but you are already, but you are able to get your hall ticket. Then what it means, you are not using your total set of keys. So that means you are using only partial set of keys. So that type of dependency will be referred as a partial dependency. Okay, fully functional dependency means, so if you are not giving the value for to the second one, so then you are not able to download the hall ticket. Please try to understood this. If you are understood this concept, then you are easily understood the second normal form. Okay, so that means how many number of keys are used to get the download, of your hall ticket, then that is will be decided whether it is a fully functional dependency or partial functional dependency. So for example, what is the meaning of if x to y? So that means y is functionally dependent on x. Am I right? So that means y attribute will be identified by using x. So by using student number, we are able to find out the student name. Am I right? By using student number, we are find out the student name. Okay. Then what it means, student name is based upon student number. For example, if I am giving, so another two keys, you try to use the two keys. So and you try to use the bank account number also. For example, I'm giving like this. So by using student number and your other number, you will find out the student name. For example, I'm not entering the total set of keys, just only I'm entering student number and press the submit button. Then if I get the student name, then what it means, so it is a partial set of keys. So that type of dependency will be referred as the partial functional dependency. If you now we try to observe the definition of the second norm form again. So relation set to be 2NF. First of all, it is should be satisfying the 1NF. And every non-key attribute. What is the meaning of non-key attribute? So if it is a key attribute, so it is unique. If it is non-key attribute, there is no need to unique. Okay. So that means whatever it without primary key. So in the table, only one column will be treated as the primary key. Am I right or not? Okay. For example, if we are consider some student table, then what is the primary key? Student number. Am I right or not? But student name and student address and student age. So those are not may not be equal. Am I right? Am I right or not? So there is no need to be equal. Why? Because maybe the same name is accepted, maybe the same age is for the assigned for the another student, same class. Am I right? So all these are the same. Maybe the address is also same. Yelur. Okay, so maybe the Yelur, maybe the Senwarpeta, maybe Shanti Nagar, maybe most of the members maybe resident at same location. Am I right or not? So that means here only in a table, only one of the column will be treated as the primary key. Am I right or not? Here, so remaining attributes will be treated as non-key attributes. Simple. So one of the attribute will be only one of the column will be treated as the primary key. So that means key attributes. So what is the key attribute in the table? Student number. So remaining attributes, non-key attributes. Simple. Okay. Now we try to see every non-key attribute. So every non-key attribute is fully functionally dependent on. So fully functional dependent on means, so we should be using the total set of keys, whether it is a candidate key or composite key, super key, okay, whatever it may be key. So whether it is a primary key, so whatever it is, maybe it is a key. So we should should be fully functional dependent upon the primary key attributes. Okay, if any one of the following condition is satisfied, then the relation which is in 1F, 1NF and it is in 2NF. So that means if the above two conditions, so one condition is it should be satisfying the first NF. Second condition is every non-key attribute fully functionally depend on any key attribute of the relation. Okay, so there should be only one attribute associated with the primary key. There must be no non-key attributes in the relation. Non-key attributes fully functional depend on the set of primary key attributes is partial dependencies must not exist. So that means the main intention of this normal form is to avoid the partial functional dependencies. Okay, for example, just to try to consider an example. So maybe I try to exceeding the time today. So don't worry about this. Okay. Uh, every day, so every session. So in this week, we will try to consider every one class. We will discuss with the only one normal form. Okay. So just we are already discussing the 1NF. What is the 1NF? So now we try to discuss the second NF. So we are having only remaining 4NFs. So those are third NF, BCNF, 4NF, and 5NF. We will try to discuss in the next 4 classes. Okay. So please consider the example. Here the example is most important. Please remember this. Okay. Please consider student table, student ID, class ID. So if you observe here, so both are underlined, and student name, course ID, time. So that means here key attributes are student ID and class ID. And then we are easily identified that. And remaining attributes will be treated as non-key attribute. Then what is the definition of 2NF? Every non-key attribute. So what are the every non-key attribute means? Student name, course ID, time. So these 3 attributes fully functionally depend on student ID and class ID. So that is nothing but a second normal form. For example, if that case is not occurred, then we can break down the tables into some other table and we satisfy that condition. Okay, now we try to see the data also. Student ID and class ID. For example, here observe here. So for example, 00011 student ID, class ID is 502, and the name is Anupama. Course ID is 2A, and the time is 10 by 10. Okay, in the same way, so 00012. So if you observe here, so these two are treated as the primary key. So there is no problem actually. Okay. So instance of student relationship. So if you observe here, so these three attributes, student name, course ID, time, will be find out by using these two attributes. Please remember this. Okay. Every non-key attribute fully functional depend on the total keys. So what are the keys here? Student ID and class ID. For example, if we are using only student ID, then we are able to get the name or not. Please try to check once whether we are able to get the student name by using student ID or not. Please try to check once. Are you understood the question? By using student ID, we are able to find out the student name or not. If we are able to find out, so it is a partial functional dependency. Am I right or not? Why? Because here we should be using the two keys, but here you are only using only one key. So by using student ID, we are easily get the answer. So we are easily observe the name. So for example, what is the name for the? For example, if we are write the query like this. For example, select S name from student. Okay. Sorry, select student name from student where student ID equals to 00011. Then what is the answer? Anupama. So we are easily observe the student name. So in the same way, course ID also we are easily get. So we are easily get the time also. So that means, so we need not using the class ID here. In the same way here, so there is nothing but a partial functional dependency. Okay, so we need to eliminate these type of partial functional dependencies. Simple. Okay, then how we can divide this table into another table? Please observe this. Here the problem is, here the problem with the, here we are, the problem is we are not using the another key. Am I right or not? By using student ID, we can able to find out the student name. So by using student ID, we can find out the course ID. So by using student ID, we are able to using find out the time also. So then how we can divide this into the two tables? So student ID, class ID, course ID, time. So that is the one table. So in another table, student ID and student name. So if now try to observe the dependencies. So by using student ID and class ID, we are able to find out the 2A. Sorry, course ID. In the same way, time. So for example, by using class ID, we are able to find out the course ID. For example, if you are write the query, so course ID, to try to find out the course ID, select course ID from for example, the table name is student. Okay, select course ID from student where class ID is 502. Then we need we are able to find out the two details. I'm right or not? So we are can't find out uniquely. In the same way, so by using student ID, we are able to find out the details of the course ID. So then also we are not able to find out this. So that means by using these two values only, we are able to find out the values. So that's why we are dividing the one table into two tables. Okay. Don't try to get confused. So I will try to post my video in the YouTube also, and I will try to share my personal YouTube link also to understand about the what is the second noun form. Okay. So if you're having any type of the doubts, you can ask me now. So otherwise, I will end the session today. Some of the person is giving some reply. I think 511 EMP ID. So why she is sending that, I don't know actually. So simple. Please try to remember by using the second noun form. First, you remember the definition. What is the definition? So if it is a second NF, first satisfying the one NF, and every non-key attribute is fully functionally depend on the any key of the relation. Okay, so that is the definition of the second noun form. Okay, so now first of all we try to observe what are the non-key attributes, what are the key attributes, whether we are maintaining the total fully functional dependency or not. So first of all, we try to observe what is a partial functional dependency and what is a fully functional dependency. Okay, if it is a partial functional dependency, there is no need to use total set of keys to get the data. Okay, if it is a fully functional dependency, we should be using the total set of keys to retrieve the data. Simple. So for example, if it is a partial functional dependency is there, then we break down. So where we break down the table into smaller table. Okay, so I will try to share another one also. Please just wait here 1 minute. It's just wait here 1 minute. So I hope all of the members able to see the screen now. I'm right or not? So just I'm explaining from the net. Okay, I'm going to the Java T point. So in the Java T point, selecting the DBMS. So simply you can search in the Google Java T point DBMS. Okay. So please try to observe this. In the second null form, the relation must be in 1 and F. That is the first rule. Second rule, in the second null form, all non-key attributes are fully functional depend on the primary key. Okay. So here we are observe the one example also. So that is okay. I hope all of the members able to see the screen. So teacher ID, subject, teacher age. Okay. For example, here at this time of situation, so which type of things will be treated as the primary key? Please try to observe this. For example, if you consider the teacher ID is the primary key. So then what is the subject? Chemistry in one time, biology in one time, and teacher age is 30. Okay. So for example, we are consider the 83. So one of the subject is maths and another subject is computer. So that means here we are not consider the teacher ID is the primary key. Am I right or not? Okay. Please try to. Okay, please try to observe this. So teacher ID, subject, teacher age. So here we can't find out the we can't teacher maintain the teacher ID is the primary key. So which one will be treated as the primary key? So for example, subject chemistry is only occurred only one time. Okay, teacher age is same 30, 35, 38. So here, so we should be consider the teacher ID and subject is the primary key. Am I right or not? So by using teacher ID and subject, we will be able to find out the teacher age. So at this time of situation, we will be break down the into the two tables. So how we are divide the two tables? Teacher ID subject is one table. Teacher ID and teacher age is another table. So then, so if the teacher ID is 25, then what is the age? 30. Only one tuple. So if it is 47, 35. If it is 83, 38. So only three tuples are needed. Please observe this. Teacher ID and teacher age. Only three tuples. Why? Because so if the teacher ID is same, then teacher age is also same. So what it means? Actually, the same teacher teach more than one subject. For example, I'm teaching DBMS. At the same time, maybe I'm teaching the OS also. Then for example, what is the age of this particular person? So in two times also age is same, name is same, faculty ID is same. So then we can try to divide that. So teacher ID and teacher age. So then we are having only three rows. So in the case of another remaining attributes, teacher ID and subject. So then occurring more than one. So in this type of way, we are dividing the tables. Okay. I hope all of the members able to understood. We will try to discuss in the next class. If you're not understood this, don't worry about this. Okay, we will try to discuss again second noun form with the example in the next class. Okay, thank you, Ananda. Thank you. Have a nice day.